let's roll back the clock a little bit, do a little bit of rewind here, and go back to a time where things were much simpler. And the only worry in your day was trying to find the fastest way home, the most optimal speedrun route home, so you could play the most Call of Duty or Halo or whatever game you might be grinding. Let's say circa 2010, right? That's a good time frame. 2010, Black Ops just released. Halo Reach I think is out or it's coming out, and you're like, I gotta play, dude. So let's roll back the clocks here. I'm gonna summon my time magician, except it's not time magician or wizard. It's blue eyes, white dragon, because I couldn't find my time magician. So here we go, using my rewind powers.
Man, guys, I'm so mad Mrs. Johnson gave us this project over the weekend. I just wanted to spend it playing the new Call of Duty. Oh, wow, you have the new Call of Duty too? I'm already first prestige. My favorite gun's the FAMAS. First prestige? I'm not even level 30. How do you find the time to play? Ah, shit bucket. You shit in the toilet, not playing the game. Shit in a bucket, playing the game. Wow, that's so cool. If we've all finished our projects over the weekend, we should play together. Hey, what's your gamer tag? Oh, you know, XX Mom Banger, except, and the banger, the 3 is an E, and then 52XX. Okay, got that written down. What about you? X underscore epic. Hold on. You can't have underscores in your gamer tag. What? I'm on PlayStation. Oh, well, guess you're not playing with us. Okay. Well, I'll talk to you over the weekend, man. And see you at school Monday. Sorry. Yeah, no, it sucks. We can't play together. All right, well, talk to you guys later.
And so that's the story of our three fine gentlemen who, fortunately, couldn't all experience such a great game together because there wasn't crossplay. And you know, something so simple, if they wanted to play together, either the two kids would have to buy a PlayStation and the game and all the other accessories, or the one kid would have to buy an Xbox, the game again, and Xbox Live. It was horrible. It's not that they can't be friends anymore, but they're not going to be as close of friends as they could have been if they were just all on the same platform. I'm sure you guys have had your own experience with that. I definitely have. I was fortunate enough that most of the people I knew had an Xbox, and I stayed with that group of people for pretty much my entire life. So it wasn't something that affected me too bad, but I do know a few people who had PlayStation, and it was just, you know, it was all right, man. Oh, all right. I'll later. So it sucks. Now, I'm sure, you know, you've had that situation before and it sucks, but fortunately today, that's not as bad. With Discord being the biggest server and chat platform out there, and most gamers moving to the PC platform, people are becoming much more connected. And on top of that, there are actually quite a handful of games that do have crossplay support, and some that are even adding it in the future. And I think those games that haven't implemented now, doing a pretty damn good job. Some have implemented voice chat, so even if you know, if you're a guy, an Xbox guy, and PC, they don't have to. No one has to make a compromise. Besides maybe hearing the subpar voice chat.
Don't you guys fucking learn how to actually play the fucking game?
God, dog, learn how to fucking shoot a gun, you
fucking
pussy
riot
bitch.
shield. What else you want me to
Oh, riot shield! I'm a pussy that use riot shield!
Oh, now I'm a what do
Shut
you want
the
me to
fuck
use?
up, faggot!
You tell
Look
me
at you,
what you want me to fucking
prestige!
use.
Trans prestige, you fucking fag!
Tell me what it's fucking
Prestige!
is, huh? Tell me what.
But it's better than nothing, so it really isn't a compromise. But you know, that's still not enough. I can name 5 games right now that don't have crossplay support, and they would benefit greatly from crossplay support. It's just kind of it's a non-debatable topic as to why it shouldn't be added. We're gonna go over that, talk about games that have it and why it should be added, maybe one reason why it shouldn't, but there's already a fix to that, so let's get into it. So we know that there are some titles that are adding crossplay, but I kind of want to go over in my opinion, which ones are the biggest and which ones are doing it the best. So obviously the biggest one that we all know of is Call of Duty and, you know, the Warzone integration. Modern Warfare, the one that released last year, had full crossplay support and the hell's the term? Input. You could use a mouse and keyboard on Xbox and a controller on PC, and everyone could play together, and it was great. You could set search parameters, awesome stuff, and they continued it again with Cold War, which, you know, I mean, think about it. If Call of Duty on PC has always been something that's dead after a few months, but now most of the big influencers and whatnot are playing on PC. But it doesn't matter because they can play with the people who aren't on PC. Great stuff. Another game that has crossplay, which is a complete like left hook to me, I had no idea, Smite, and any other game that's made by the company that makes Smite. Smite has full crossplay support, which I think is great because that's another game where, while I personally think it's the best MOBA, it's not the most popular MOBA, and, you know, not having a giant community hurts the game. But having the community together helps it a lot more than, you know, having it will help preserve the game as long as it needs to, because I like Smite and I'm happy that they have crossplay. Another game that, while it doesn't have full crossplay support, unfortunately, is Halo the Master Chief Collection. I believe when they added Halo 4, Halo 3 ODST, they added in crossplay support and input preference, just like how Call of Duty has it. But you can't play with people on PlayStation because Halo is a console Xbox exclusive. However, it is such a great addition. I can boot up MCC. I was just playing it a few days ago, trying to stream ODST campaign, and I was like, I'll play some multiplayer. I boot it up. I go, I want to play Halo 2. You know, I want to try Halo 2. You know, I found a match in less than a minute. There was Xbox people and PC people. You could see there was the controller and the mouse, and it was really good. I could even play Reach if I wanted to, even though Reach on PC came out, God, like at the start of quarantine, or a while ago it came out, but I was still able to play it, which was really nice. And that's crossplay, is something that I have to thank for that. Another game that I also had no idea had crossplay support, friggin' Rocket League, which makes complete sense because the game is free to play, so they're not going to benefit from you buying another copy. So might as well make it crossplay, and since you have more people playing your game because it's crossplay, more people are going to buy your microtransactions, which a free-to-play game lives off of that. Another game, Apex Legends. It's not officially out yet, but it is in beta, so if any of you play Apex, stay tuned for that sweet, juicy crossplay support. Brawlhalla is another good example. I didn't know I had crossplay either, but that's another game that's doing it. Good job, Brawlhalla. You guys are killing it. And then finally, the big giant Goliath behemoth, Fortnite. Probably might not be the first game that did crossplay, but I can tell you it is the biggest game to add crossplay and kind of the catalyst to this whole crossplay dream of mine that I've been dying for so long. So Fortnite, as much as, you know, you're kind of the joke, like the butt of the joke, I appreciate you, Fortnite. I really, really do. And Epic Games, thank you for pushing crossplay, because you guys had a good idea of how important that stuff was. Okay, Bubs, if crossplay is so good, why aren't all the developers adding it? You know, if it needs to be added, where is it? Well, as my favorite crustacean once said,
Hello, I like money.
What inspired you to build a second Krusty Krab right next door to the original?
Money.
yeah, that's really what it boils down to, is money. If you're wondering, hey, maybe crossplay is kind of hard to do. No, it's not. It's, according to Epic Games anyway, back in 2017, when they accidentally enabled crossplay for Fortnite. Basically, one weekend, Xbox and PlayStation players, you know, they're all playing Fortnite, and they're like, you know, as we talked about earlier, you can't have an underscore on Xbox. And so they're sitting there, they're like, how's this dude have an underscore in my game? And the PlayStation guy goes, How does this guy have a space in his gamer tag or his user ID? How? What? How? Well, people started going on Reddit and all the forum websites and conjugating. They realized, oh shoot, this crossplay's turned on, and so Sony stepped in. They went, hey, knock that off, before I knock you off. And they had to turn off crossplay, but it was described as just flipping a switch. It was that easy, so it's not something that's difficult to do. Granted, I'm not a software engineer or programmer, so maybe there's something I don't know, but the research I've gathered shows that it being difficult or some type of technical limitation is not stopping crossplay. It is money. So if I do recall, Microsoft was pretty on board with crossplay from the start, as they were losing the console war and in bad light. So anything they could do to save grace, they were going to do, and being in support of crossplay was definitely one of those things. Sony, on the other hand, being at the top, didn't want crossplay, and it took them a while to convince to actually get crossplay implemented into third-party games. Now, I think since Call of Duty was able to do it, it shouldn't be an issue anymore. But before that, they were the only reason stopping crossplay from being added. As for Nintendo, well, you guys know how Nintendo is. They kind of do their own thing. Nintendo just discovered the internet, and that you can actually communicate with people all over the globe without sending mail or messenger birds. They might actually still be on like the messenger birds that you see depicted in old movies and whatnot, and I think was actually real, but they're still stuck on messenger birds. They're just discovering the mailing system. Just Nintendo, we don't really they just do their own thing. If we can get contact with them, cool, but if not, that's also cool. Now, the reason there was more money to be made is, so think about it. Your friend is on PlayStation. He wants to play with his Xbox boys. Well, for him to play with his Xbox boys, he's going to have to buy a whole new console, a whole new game, and maybe a subscription service. That's a lot of money to be made right there. That is tons and tons of money. If there's like 1,000 people that do that, that's 1,000 sales. 10,000? It's 10,000 sales. Yeah, no, we're not. Buy our system, man. Sell that one and buy our system. So that's really what it boiled down to, was just the fact that there was money to be made, and the publishers and the big suits said, we want the money to be made. But there are other ways to make money. Now, there's one argument against crossplay, and especially in first-person shooters, but it's also in other games too, and that's the hardware limitations of consoles and the fact that PC players have keyboard and mouse controller support. They can use an entire 117, 114 keys and an entire however much space they want to aim with. They can aim with. That's a pretty big deal. To put it into perspective, here's my Xbox One controller, and if I were to aim in Call of Duty, this is all I get. This tiny, maybe third of an inch diameter area to aim with. Third of an inch. Now, aim assist helps, and that's why it's there, because you have so little space. But my desk, it's way out of frame. It's like this big. It's an entire mouse pad. I could have like 6 feet of aiming precision if I wanted to with the keyboard and mouse. So there is a clear advantage. Now, it's saying you can't be good with the controller, but the skill ceiling is higher on a keyboard and mouse. Well, the solution to this, just allow the people playing on console to plug in a keyboard and mouse. Problem solved. That's literally it. And you might say, oh, well, consoles can't get 60 FPS, and it's not really fair. A game like For Honor, maybe, where it's still stuck at 30 FPS on console, but PC is however much you want. Well, the PS5 and Xbox Series S and X are consoles capable of hitting higher frame rates, even above 60. So maybe not previous generation, but this new generation, there's no excuse for crossplay now. The biggest games are doing it. The consoles are as fast, if not faster than PCs, so there's no hardware limitations. And we've already seen that you can plug in a keyboard and mouse into the previous gen console, so no reason why you can't do it for this one. Now, with everything I said, it is truly my belief that over the course of this generation, the PS5 and Xbox Series S and X, that crossplay will be the standard for games moving forward, especially multiplayer games that really thrive with a community and a player base that is always there for each new update with all these live service games. Crossplay is something that is mandatory, and I think developers are starting to pick up just how much positive reception you really gain from the community. They go, wow, they added crossplay support, something they didn't have to do, but they did it so I could play with everyone and the community's better and I don't feel like I'm alone. That's huge. That's huge. Each game that's added crossplay support has only seen positive feedback from the community. It's not like, wow, they really just let me play with all my friends and a bunch of thousands of new people and reduce queue times and improve connection by having more people to play against. This is garbage. Nobody's done that. Maybe a few people on Twitter, because Twitter is just insanity. But besides that, 99.9% of people are super happy whenever a game adds crossplay support. And here's another thing that I kind of walked around in circles but didn't really talk about it earlier, is that if you have more people playing your game, especially a live service multiplayer game where you're kind of depending on microtransactions, if there's more people playing your game because the community is bigger, because everyone can play together, more people are going to be buying your microtransactions. That's something that I don't see anyone really talking about, but it's true. And especially, you know, when they see crossplays added, it boosts morale. Players might not feel as horrible about buying $10 worth of whatever it may be for a cool skin, because they know that the company they're supporting does have their best intentions in mind. So that's huge. Not to mention the biggest franchises right now, well, not the biggest, but arguably the biggest around there. They're pretty big. Call of Duty, Fortnite, Rocket League, and Apex, all pretty big games, have crossplay or are adding it very soon. And it's one of those things where, okay, people see someone doing something that's working for them, they're gonna follow suit and see if they can get it to work for whatever they're trying to do. And I also think developers are starting to realize that having a bigger community means longer support, more players playing, and more players buying in-game items. It is truly a win for everyone. Nobody loses from having crossplay added into their games. It's, like I said at the start of this video, it is a non-debatable topic. It is there's no gray area. It is clear that crossplay needs to be added, and it's just a matter of time before it becomes the norm. Now, me personally, I play mostly fighting games on PC. Yeah, you know, it's not horrible for Dragon Ball FighterZ, but 2,000 people playing the game on a regular basis, I'm fighting a lot of the same people. And, you know, the connection's not that great in that game, so connection can be iffy. But if I had thousands and thousands, even if I just had Xbox and PS4 crossplay, let's say it's the same amount of people on each platform, well, now there's 6,000 people playing the game. That's 4,000 more people I could be matched with on a regular basis. And, you know, when a new character comes out, there might be like 15,000 people playing. That's 15,000 people I can get matched with instead of 5,000. That's going to reduce wait times, improve connections, and diversify who and what type of players you actually get to fight against. These are all of my thoughts on crossplay and what I think of it. Personally, a lot of the games I play would highly benefit from it, and I think any multiplayer game would benefit from crossplay. What I've said, I don't think developers are losing out on money. They'd only gain money from it. So those are my thoughts. But what about your thoughts? Yes, you the viewer. I don't know if you've watched this far. I don't know if anyone's going to watch this far. But if you did, it really means the world to me that, you know, you didn't go and watch someone else, especially with how all over the place I am and unscripted this video is. But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts. You know, do you want crossplay added? Do you have any games that you would like crossplay in? Do you have any stories of not being able to play with friends because of crossplay or console platform segregation? Let me hear your stories below, and thank you all so much for watching. Let me get a flex. Yeah, see ya.